All right, welcome everybody to the Goodbye Stars podcast, your morning podcast where we talk about all things Dallas Stars, news, updates, games, predictions, anything like that. Today, big day, Game 4 of Round 2, Stanley Cup playoffs against the Winnipeg Jets at home at the American Airlines Center. Stars up 2-1, but I really think this is a big game, like very important. Just because purely of how the Jets have looked at home versus away, um, due to the Jets having home ice already, so they will have that Game 7 advantage if it goes the distance. I mean, it's tough, you think about it. If the Jets are to split this home ice with the Stars, tie the series at 2 going back to Winnipeg, they got Game 6. Hellebuyck really hasn't shown any reason to worry about him at his home ice, which is a little worrying for Stars fans, because then it makes it a lot harder to envision Dallas going up 3-2 instead of down 3-2. So, but it'll be interesting. I mean, if we're going scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for each team to win this game? For Dallas, I would go an 8. Then for Winnipeg, I would go 9.5. And the only reason it's not 10 is because it's not an actual elimination game. However, I do believe that if Winnipeg loses this game, the series is over in 5-6 games. I think it would just take the wind right out of their sails. I don't think there'll really be any coming back. I mean, I know anything happens, but it just looks like Dallas has looked better for more of the series, in my opinion, compared to round 1, where maybe the Avs looked a little bit better for longer, but we still got the series win. But yeah, I mean, Winnipeg. The only thing that concerns me about this game is Winnipeg carrying the emotion of the kick goal and the no Marchment penalty call with the ref situation. But that worries me a little bit because that emotion can build up, can turn into more pressure, more momentum, that kind of thing. So I think Dallas really needs to come out with a purpose at the start of Game 4. I'd love to see them score first again. It's not very common to see them score first, so when they got that first goal in Game 3, it was good to see a big relief. As a Dallas fan, it's not exactly always the funnest playing from behind. My heart rate can't take that all the time. But yeah, Marchment apparently isn't gonna suffer any suspension, and I don't even think he's gonna have any fines either, according to Elliot Friedman, which is, I mean, we'll take it. I'll take it. I would love for him for this to kind of be his lesson that he learns that, hey, I can't take these penalties. I can't be doing this, or I guess not taking penalties, but I can't be getting this frustrated. Same thing with Jamie Benn. For whatever reason, I feel like I don't know the exact numbers on this, but I can throw it up, I guess, on screen. But it really seems like we're taking a ton more penalties than we have in the series in round 1 and just in general in the regular season. And I don't know if it's the refs watching, guys like Marchment and Benn more closely, or Bichel more closely, or what it is, but it just feels like we're racking up the penalties. I feel like almost every time I turn on the game real quick, we're on some kind of penalty kill. So it'd be nice if we could clean that up. I think that would, because while yes, our penalty kill, if we get those kills, those long kills, it does build momentum. It also just gives Winnipeg an opportunity for no reason, and I'd rather stay 5-on-5 for longer and slowly build our momentum than have 3-4 kills in a night and it give us kind of spikes of momentum. But I don't know. I think big thing, game 4, just like game 3, is get our depth guys going. Johnston got a goal the other day. That whole Ben Dodanov line stupidly got a point off that, which I really hope Peter DeBoer doesn't decide to put them on a line together. I mean, they've pretty consistently proven that they're not the greatest together, and um, yeah, I mean, I doubt it because Robertson, I think, is kind of chilling on that line right now. Minutes wise, getting his legs back under him and stuff like that. Um, which it would be nice to see him maybe contribute tonight. 4 games back now, playoff times where it's kind of about that time. But I also understand that playoffs are a very different beast when it comes to spacing and scoring and chances and what have you. But Robertson has always kind of been a streaky playoff performer. Good numbers, but they kind of come in bunches. So I'm not super worried, especially if we're winning, if we're getting production from Johnston, guys like that. Hintz had a goal, game 3. The big thing that I would like to hope right for this game is have this second line do something. They looked good, to come out in round 1. They had Marchman and Sagan had that, what was it, game 3 overtime winner, I believe. But since then, they really haven't done much. I mean, Duchesne has had some nice setup passes on the power play. Obviously had the assist, the primary assist on Johnston's game 7 game winner. But at even strength, it would be really, really beneficial for them to do something. For Duchesne to score a goal, I mean, he has looked. It's tough, because he hasn't looked. I don't think he's looked outright bad, but just the fact that he's not scoring goals is pretty concerning. We've kind of been hailed for having a really good top 6, top 9, or whatever, but without that top second line doing anything, it's kind of hard to make that argument. But again, we're winning, and so I can't really bash on any line combination or coaching that much. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we know yet, but if Heisaken comes back this game, it's tough to say. It's really, I think, starting to kind of get into this convoluted, murky area of whether or not he is healthy and the surgeons just don't want to sign off, or if he had a setback in his rehab and he's kind of just, he and the rest of the team is kind of just taking this whole thing slow. It's really hard to say, especially because of the lack of, obviously communication in the playoffs, injuries and non-disclosures and stuff like that. But, the sooner we get him back, the better. I mean, we've already seen what getting a number 1 defenseman back looks like for the Jets. Morrissey's looked pretty solid. Now, granted, it's completely different injuries. Didn't have surgery, already played the playoffs, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, no matter how you slice it, I think Heiskanen getting back in the lineup is a huge benefit and a huge boost, especially as the series kind of goes on. Any kind of uplift in morale, win or lose on a day-to-day basis is pretty big. But yeah, it'll be interesting. If I had to take a stab at it, I would say he's not back until like game 6 or 7 in the second round, or the third round, if that. Speaking of the third round, if we make it there, don't want to get too ahead of myself, but looks like we would see the Edmonton Oilers, unless Vegas pulls off the impossible, which with Adin Hill, it really is impossible. He's played like absolute buns this series, somehow played worse than Stuart Skinner last night, which, I mean, I don't know. Big confidence boost for him and the rest of the Oilers team, I bet, getting a shutout, It wasn't anything crazy, but a shutout's a shutout. Especially come playoff time, you'll take what you take, or you'll take what you get. But the more I've kind of watched the Oilers and seen them here and there when I can catch the games, it looks like they're very. It's tough, because on one hand they look like a very beatable team, and in the goaltending field, the defense, they're missing Ekholm, whether or not he would be back in the conference finals, I think is still up in the air a little bit. It kind of seems like he's a little bit similar to the Heisaken situation, except they've been more willing to just rule him out for entire series. But then on the front end of things, the depth is scoring at a pretty improbable rate. The bottom six is really chugging along, and it's very uncommon for the Oilers to have that, and so it makes it a little scary, a little intimidating. But we also have a very deep team, and I think a more proven deep team. So I really do hate to get ahead of myself, but this does seem like a good year to shoot for the finals and really push for that, especially if Toronto does not choke this series away against the Panthers and the Hurricanes beat the Capitals. I think I like our odds against both of those Eastern teams, more so the Maple Leafs than the Hurricanes maybe. But yeah, I mean, this is looking like a very winnable year for I guess really every team, but more specifically Dallas. So we'll see. We got to focus on this series. Focus up. Get that hopefully 3-1 lead. That'll be big. Onger, more reliable. Hopefully he stands good. My one worry is it seems like our defense has 2 bad games every series, and I don't know. It's tough to say if that second game was a bad defensive showing or not, but I feel like they're kind of due for a more mediocre game. Now I think another big thing will be how the line adjustments go and the line changes. Dallas has last change, and we saw that kind of destroy the Jets last game. So whether or not Scott Arniel will make those adjustments or find ways to get the Lowry line on